G'day, g'day, I'm Steamin STIX, your favourite mediocre musician, and I'm doing a bit of a build today. So Todd's Viking costume is very big and bulky when it hangs up. There's a lot of stuff here, like he's got his fur cape, tabard, that armour, the chainmail, so it's a lot. For the moment he's just tied his coat hangers together, but when we packed everything up and went to the Barossa Medieval Fair, he thought it might be interesting if he could put it all in a bag. Because also my bridesmaid dress for my sister's wedding is nicely kept clean and safe in a bag. So because for some reason I felt like I had money I could spend, I decided to get a ton of material so I can make the bag. But before I get into that, I want to do a little bit of bragging. So a few weeks ago it was the 2019 Steampunk Festival, so that was really fun. And I would like to take this opportunity to show off some really nice photos I got. The photographers did really well by either making me pose or just so happens to they just got an amazing shot of me and others somehow. If I've not put the photographer's name next to the photo, they'll be in the credits, so maybe you could have a check on them and see other stuff that they do. But also where the bragging comes in. I went both days and I decided, I'll enter the costume competition thing. I'd never done it before, but I was there with my friends and we're like, let's do the competition. And I was like, you know what? Sure, I think I look nice. Let's have that a go. So on Saturday I was girly, so it was really nice to just come onto the stage, do a little twirl and emphasize the skirt and the wig and all that. And then of course, Sunday, I went as Saya. So when I did that, and of course I had to howl because, she has to. It's the one time I could actually just make noise, and I was very nervous about it because I was like, I've never actually properly howled before. But my bragging rights is on Sunday when I was Saya. She won the costume competition, so that was really nice and it's really great. So yeah, that made me feel really great because Saya's my favourite, and on that day everyone else kind of seemed to like her as well, so that made me really happy. But now we shall get back to the matter at hand. So I just went to Spotlight for my material. Just a nice black. Nice and simple. It's just a bag. I didn't want to do anything fancy, and I wanted to make sure, because I knew I'd want a lot of material. I grabbed about 5 meters worth of material and definitely tried to make sure I picked something that was at least under $10 a meter. I think this is about $7, but also felt sturdy enough that it could, kind of, I don't know how well you can see that, but it doesn't feel thin and like it would break amongst all of this, which is what I wanted. So this material is apparently a drill cotton or something. I'd never heard of it before, but mind you, I don't really take much notice of specifically what my material is called sometimes. If it just looks like it's going to do the job, then that's what I'm going to have to get. But then the worst thing about it all is the bloody zip. So this is an 80 centimeter zip and it was like $15, and I'm like, that's a lot for a zip. Having said that, there were probably plainer ones that I could have gotten, but I really like the difference in the colour of the actual zip because I thought it made it look fancy. So I was kind of like, don't really want to pay that much for it, but it looks fancy, so I guess that's what we're going with. I mean, if I'm okay with spending about $50 on material, I don't really think I should be picky about a $15 zip. That's pretty good quality as well and pretty sturdy. So I also thought it would be pretty smart if I drew up a plan as to how I'm going to do it. Basically, it's just going to be, a rectangle, but I did want the top curved, just so that it's not, a complete block. And then just allowing a lot more material in between so that because it's so bulky, it does have the room to expand as much as I think it's going to do. With the top layer as well, I'm going to put some interfacing on that because I want to stiffen that up a little bit so that instead of just having it all flop over everything, I kind of want it to stick up and, really keep its shape almost so it comes over that. That's what I'm going for anyway by putting the interfacing on, so we'll see how well that can hold together as well. I'm pretty sure it should be fine, that's the job of interfacing, I'm pretty sure. And because on the top I wanted a slight kind of curve in my thought process was so that it would like curve down with the shape of all the clothes in the bag and all of that. I've made a bit of a curved top for the size that I need so that I can cut out the height that I need and just kind of put this on top so then I can just cut around that area and have the nice curve that I want. Also, if you're like me and love cereal for breakfast every day, you might have a few boxes left over. A little tip I kind of learned from the Nutty Crafter, I believe, is use your cereal boxes for templates. You're gonna be putting them in the recycling anyway once you actually finish your cereal, so may as well make some use of it before you put it away. So I'm hoping this is going to be a relatively straightforward thing to put together. I'll be using my sewing machine for all of it. Normally I would say I would preferably want to use my overlocker, but I think I've gotten some problems from when I did the game controller pouch. So now my overlocker is doing something wrong. I'm not sure what it is, and I've even asked for the help of Mum to figure out what's going on, and she can't figure out what's going on. So I'm just gonna ignore my overlocker, which is usually my preferred machine, and just do all of this on the sewing machine. And I've been rambling so much trying to explain all this, I don't even know if it's going to make sense by the time I edit it all together. But basically, I prefer an overlocker, but mine's not working, so now I'm using the sewing machine today. Alrighty, I think that's enough description, and I guess I better get to it and cut it all out. What's convenient is the material is the same width as the board that I'm working on. So hopefully that'll make it easier for me to make sure that everything's straight. The base here is a little wonky from where the person cut the material, so I'm just going to go along with, I've got a bit of a graph sort of thing, or squares here, so I'm going to follow those to make that as straight as I can so that it's, you know, a bit more straighter rectangle. Okay, so maybe it's not that straight, but it's a little better than what it was before. So what I'm going to do now, I've got the right side facing this way and then the bad side on the back here. I'm going to fold over the other material, the rest of the material that I've got, so I can cut out the front and back faces of it straight away together, which I've just realised that might be difficult if I fold over all the material back over here. I'm going to have a lot of excess on this side covering up my lines. Maybe I'll fold it over, work out the length that I need, cut the rest of the folded over material off, and then I can work with the two layers on top of each other. That's what I'll do. So on my plan, it says I need 132 centimeters on it for the length. What I will do is measure that as close as possible, but then also allow a little bit, that's not long enough, a little bit more room, so of course I can get, because in the plan the extra length for the curved top is not included in that, so I'll need a little bit more so I can fit it all in. Okay, this. My plan says I need 132. I have hopefully folded it correctly, so it's 138. Because also on the sides of all of these, they've got measurements of everything, so all I need to do is measure it up right there, and I've got a tape measure kind of straight away the entire time I'm working on it, so it should be good. So I'm allowing 138 for my limit, and then that should be more than enough for the size that I need. And then I can cut away all of this extra. Okay, so now I've got the material folded over, so I'll have my two faces out of that. I've cut the excess material off, so now I'm just working with all of this. So now I need to cut out the width of this. So the width we need is 67 centimeters, which is like right about here. The measurements I've used for all of this, I've allowed for the stitching and seams for when I put it on the sewing machine. So basically, for the width, I only needed 65 centimeters, but then to allow for what would be lost after sewing it together, I need 67. 67 is right about here. Okay. And this, of course, would be the perfect time to have a bit of marking on there. Oh, I think I know what I can do. I think I know what I can do. So my top needs to be, what does it need to be? Height needs to be 132, which by the looks of this, I have left just enough room that my curve up the top is going to fit amongst all that. So what I will actually do is pin that to the top, so then I can just cut around that, and then I've got that done, and then I can just go down the material for the width that I need. That's what I'm going to do. And just know that I'm doing it because it doesn't fit in the camera and I'm not moving all of this, or, oh, I suppose I could just move the camera so you can see it. Yeah, I guess that'll be easier. Well, at least that's looking straight. Oh, look. I'm bleeding. I guess now I could literally say I put my blood, sweat and tears into this. The tears will be later, because I'm sure something will go wrong. Alright, I hope that's going to work, so now I'll just need to cut down all the way. And I've decided to tell myself, if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, it's just a bag, and I'm just doing it because I can do it. That's it. There's nothing needs to be perfect here. Okay, now I can use all my scrap material that I've taken away from the sides here and use them for my sides. Alright, so I have got my front and back pieces cut. Now I think what I'm going to do now, before it's forgotten, is I'm going to cut the line for where the zip needs to go in. So I've made on my plan, I need to have, the middle is 33.5 centimeters. So that is about there. Suppose I should see how, 80 centimeters. The thing is 80 centimeters. Zippy zip zip. Oh, that'll actually be helpful to the right sizing, I guess. What I am going to do, I am just going to cut it all the length of the zip so that I can literally just sew directly, you know, the front material and the zip together. Which once I make the cut, I might just sew all that together and get that out of the way. I don't know how to properly do zips, so I might get that incorrect for when I need to put the top on and sew that together. But again, it doesn't matter, it doesn't need to be perfect, it's just going to be put together and that's it. That's all we're going to think about it. So I'm going to make a cut and then I may as well sew the zip on there straight away so it's done and I know front from back. Yep, that's what we're doing. Alright, cool. I am going to take the front off and sort it out and sew the zip on straight away. So it's done. I just spent the last X amount of time pinning the zip to the material. That was a little trickier than I hoped it was going to be. But instead of sewing that on straight away, I decided I actually want to cut out all of my side pieces and then just get all the sewing done in one shot sort of thing. So with the back piece, I'll be able to use that as a guide so I get the right length. I want 20 centimeters. This sheet altogether is actually 440. You know what I'm gonna do? I am literally just going to fold this in half and do it that way, because realistically, more room on the sides is not gonna hurt it at all. Cool, that's my sides done. Alright, now I need to do the top and bottom. With the top, because that will actually have a slight curve to it because of that bit that I kind of added onto the top. I might actually make that 2 centimeters longer. So, but what I might do, that's pretty much 440 as well. Awesome. So like what I just did with the sides, I think I'm just going to fold that in half and then cut through there. Because again, that is going to make it much easier than, where did I put my scissors? Trying to cut and measure 20 centimeters. So for the base, I'm not sure if you can see this, but the grid on my board here, they're 2 by 2 centimeter squares. I just said I want to make the top an extra 2 centimeters. So then if I cut this out 2 centimeters longer than what this needs to be, then I'll cut them in half and then take the bottom one and then cut that to the same shape size as this. That is the plan. So I've got my top piece, which is longer than the bottom piece, and I've got my side pieces, and this is the back piece, and I've put a zip on the material, pinned it in place. Do I want to start sewing? No, I do not, because I want to put the hole in that for the hangers to come out first. Okay, so I thought I would use some logic and thought instead of putting the hole in and then trying to put interfacing around that, I would just put interfacing on and then I can cut it all out on the one go, and then I wouldn't have to worry about cutting the interface to match the material. So I'm all ready with my interface. So my interface is going to help make it stiff so that the top doesn't just flop over, and just because I want to make it a little bit stiff because I feel like it. So I'm pretty sure I have done everything to the instructions. So preheat iron, cut interfacing to the shape and size needed for pattern, cut away the allowances, place rough side of the fusible interfacing onto the back, which I believe that is definitely the rough side. Cover with a lightweight dry pressing cloth. I will grab that in a second. I wonder if I could just use other material of this, like, that should be alright, I hope. Allow it all to cool and then check the seams for proper adhesion and iron again if needed. Alright, so I'm pretty sure I'm all set up. Just gotta wait for the iron to go and I'll grab some more material to put over the top. I have double checked that this is scrap material. I've got my bottom piece, I've got my side pieces. This is definitely scrap material. So, if I put them over like that, then I can iron. That is looking pretty good. Yes. Yes. This pleases me. It does greatly. To hopefully show the comparison of interfacing and not. See, so interfacing, bring it over, kind of a little bit stiffer, a little bit straighter in its look. Whereas just normal material, you can see that's really floppy and stuff. So yeah. So I'm hoping just that bit more strength on the top just gives it that thicker curve, I think, or stronger look to it than if it didn't have any. And now, just as I was finished doing all that, I then had the worry that, what if I didn't make the top long enough? Because I don't really have any more interfacing left. So I really don't want to have to go out and buy more interfacing and cut out a longer strip. So I'm really hoping this works now. I have decided how I'm going to make my hole is I have folded my top piece in half, and the size of my hole for the coat hangers is 8 by 6 centimeters, so 8 going long ways, 6 going width. So I've got this in half. So now, because it's now 22 centimeters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this here is the middle, and then we want 6, so 1, 2, 3 centimeters there. And then 1, 2, 3 centimeters there. Okay, so that is our width. Okay, now, and that is our length. Okay, 33, 5. Okay, and now from there, it's 8 centimeters. So 1, 2, 3, 4 this way. One, 2, 3, 4. So then that's our 8 centimeters from the middle. So theoretically, I've just cut out the edges. So now all I need to do is make my cuts meet. And now that is the hole for the coat hangers to hang out. It's uneven. It's fine. I'm sure it's fine. I am just going to cut just a little bit more. It's fine. It's fine, you see, it's fine. Okay, nothing bad happened, it's even. Okay, now we're going to try and do the sewing, and first start off with sewing the zip onto the front. I'm first going to practice on leftover material so that I can just double check that sewing machine is working and hopefully not stuff it up and going on to the real thing first. Ugh. It's a bit dusty apparently. I think I'll give that a wipe down, but the stitches seem decent, so I'm happy with that. I guess I'm gonna wipe down the sewing machine. Okay, I usually like working really slow with the sewing machine because I'm always worried that something will go wrong, because my experience when I first started learning to sew on a machine, mum's played up a lot. And again, this is only the second time I've worked with zips, so let's hope it works out alright. What I might even do is bring that down a bit, so that bit, or whichever side I'm working with first, then no, I won't be able to move the bloody zip through the sewing machine. Okay, I guess we'll see how it goes. Okay, all right. That's not even attached. Okay, take 2 of this. I'm going to sew it with it separate and open. I'll do about 2 where I've got the zip here, close it off sort of thing, move the zip again, and then start again going from the bottom, because I think it's a little too bulky for me to try and go around the zip, and I hope that's what my problem was before. So hopefully doing it this way will be a lot better and make it work. Oh, no, and we've lost a thread. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Oh boy, don't do this. I am very lucky because that is only just on there. Nice one for close calls. Okay, put that up the top, and now let's have a go at finishing this zip. Well, it looks zippy. I think I did well enough. Let's hope I can do the same for this side. Alrighty, it zips. It's a very zippy zip. And it is on. And there was a couple of near misses, if you can see that. But it's still attached and it is on, and that's all I'm doing with that. Pretty sure all that's left to do now is to attach all the sides together. So this is the inside, that's the top. So then it's all nice and on the outside, and now that just needs to be stitched together. And then repeat until everything is attached. I was freaking out in this bit because it looked like there were holes, and I was worried that the holes meant that stitches weren't going through and all of that sort of caper. But no, it's just because I'm using the literal end of the material because I'm not being fussy with this. So it was just a whole bit, so that's fine. That's fine, nothing's wrong. Nothing at all. Right, let's have a go at the sides. Haha, haha. 2 seconds towards the end, I'm pretty sure the bobbin has run out. You're not doing anything. Ah! Empty. I'm very skeptical on how tight this has actually been done. Looks like I'm possibly up to the tears part in the I've put blood, sweat and tears into this project. So I might have to have a cry and finish this off at Mum's maybe. I don't know. Let's tempt fate and see if we can continue. Yep, I'm gonna cry and finish this off at Mum's. So after a lot of crying from this project and other things that have happened to me this week, we have now fast forwarded to tomorrow and I've gone to Mum's so I can finish it off on her fancy schmancy sewing machine, which I just did a little tester just to make sure I could actually, you know, just use it and not have to fiddle with it. It is very smooth and, you know, might just add a sewing machine onto the list that maybe I should try and save for and everything. But anyway, now that we're here with a working sewing machine, I think we can hopefully finish this now, because now all we need to do is some quick, easy sewing, which will be achievable on this beauty. I had to push all of Mum's stuff out of the way because she's had remnants of a costume she was making for Steampunk Festival. She went as a cool kind of style of a Cheshire cat sort of thing, so kind of just had to push all of that away so I could make room for my stuff. So let's just set it up and finish the bit that we missed out on. These bits aren't attached, they're like right next to the top. So attach that and hopefully just be able to attach all the sides and basically get it done. Of course I've stuffed something up right now, but I am refusing to care because I do not have that mind frame right now. So I shall continue on. Now the bobbin of this has run out. So the problem wasn't that the bobbin ran out of thread or anything, but the top stitch, the one that goes in the needle, that came out. So thankfully they leave instructions on sewing machines of how to weave all the thread through and all of that. So I've put everything together, I've got my thing. I just need to sew on the back and then we'll have that ready and then it'll be done. So I'm going to sew on the back and attach it all so then it's the nice rectangle box, that bag that we need. And then we're going to shuffle on back home and see if it can actually fit in the Viking costume in general, because that's what we're doing this for. Here, come here. Come here. Pippi has come to say hi. She's very nervous because I'm holding her very awkwardly. There you go, Pippi. And after a weekend of dealing with a case of the morbs, I will finally show the finished product and see if it actually fits everything. The interfacing on the top certainly did not work out at all like I had hoped. It was coming off, so at least when it was attaching everything together, I was able to sew that together, but then I just blanket stitched all of this together so then it wasn't all floppy in the middle where the coat hangers were going to come out. All I can say is at least I did try to do something with it, it just didn't work. Okay, how am I going to do this? It may not look it, but these are very heavy. And I grabbed an extra shirt that's not part of the thing. I can go back. Woo! A bag! So what a stroke of luck, it actually fits, and it fits, it's done. Put a stamp, mission complete on that one. A lot, and I mean a lot of mishaps, but again, it's done, it looks decent, they can all be protected when they're not being worn, and everything stays together. It's worked, everything's fine. So if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Thank you to my photographer friends for letting me use their photos to show off my Steampunk Festival weekend with my really pretty photos. So if you've got a cosplay that's pretty bulky and has a lot of things to it, make yourself a bag. Keep everything together. Alrighty, thank you again to anyone who is still watching. That is finished, and so with that, yeah, I'm off to bed. Good night.